Yo, what is up guys, it is your boy Sage Samurai here, and this is What If Naofumi Had Whitebeard's Powers, Part 6. Hope you all do enjoy the video, and either way, let's get started.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do?
Alright guys, let's get started with this what if. By the way, sorry if you guys hear me go around the place during the time of recording. That's because I'm still new to this mic, so I might have a hard time adjusting to it. But either way, enough of all of that. Let's go ahead and get started. So we now start off where we left off, with Naofumi pretty much soloing the entire boss raid by himself, as well with some help from Rin and I guess Moriyasu, but really didn't do much. Now Naofumi after that of course had gotten his reward from the king, which he threw it back, considering the fact that, you know, wait a minute, I just realized something. That sounded so wrong for a second. I didn't mean like he threw it back like, hey, I mean like he threw it back like he threw the money back at him, as if he didn't want that. Like, get that shit out of my face. So Naofumi went ahead and did that to the king, who of course got pretty mad at him. He yelled at Naofumi, calling him the devil of the shield, to return back here. But Naofumi went ahead and pretty much ignored him, causing the king to do something foolish, as in trying to threaten Naofumi's party, which did not work out as planned, as Naofumi went ahead and threatened the king, telling him that if he were to even try of threatening his party, he will go ahead and literally wiped out the entire kingdom off the map, which due to Naofumi's powers, some actually believe in the threat. So after that being said, Naofumi along with his party had went ahead and left the village. As with that, we're gonna go ahead and now cut the recap. Present. So right now, currently in the present, we see Naofumi and his party, all of them now pack up and ready to go, as they are now leaving the kingdom, so that way they can continue on their journey. Now, while this was happening, of course, we would go ahead and see in the kingdom, we would see Melty right there looking at her father, who is now smiling at his young daughter. "Ah, Melty, come here. How long has it been, dear?" he would say in such a kind tone, which I'm pretty sure most viewers were surprised the first time they saw this. As the king was excited to go ahead and see his daughter after such a long time apart, you would go ahead and see that his daughter is giving him a glare. And not those, you know, small little playful ones, I mean the serious ones that adults be giving when they go ahead and sideswipe you. At this, the king's already thinking like, crap, she's really pissed off. As he's right now thinking that he's about to rain hellfire upon him. As this is when Melty didn't speak. "Father, may I ask, why are you being so rude to the shield hero?" she would say, with such a tone that says, "Messed up and you'll be put in your place." At this, the king was now sweating as he then says, "So I guess that your mother has caught word of what I've been doing," he would say, in a quiet yet fearful tone. At this, Melty would nod, slowly, as of course this causes the king to go ahead and look down. "But Melty, you must understand, that damn shield." But this is when Melty goes ahead and gives him a glare. "It doesn't matter who or what type of connection you have to the shield hero. That doesn't mean you have to go ahead and be rude to him. He has done nothing but try to save this kingdom while you're trying to push him apart." At this, the king goes ahead and looks down. "But it's just that." As this, we would then see a flashback of just pure destruction and terror, as he then thinks that he won't allow something like that to happen again. No way. Not. He will not let the devil of the shield get his way. However, this is when Melty goes ahead and looks at his father. "Father, please, just give the shield hero a chance. We need him. We need all the cardinal heroes. It's not just them. So of course, you need to learn how to cooperate with Naofumi." At this, the father goes ahead and looks at Melty, and so suddenly this is when Mine had no choice but to enter into this conversation. My, Melty, it's so good to see you, dear sister," she would say in a tone that says, you know, "I hate you," pretty much. Now at this, Melty, seeing her sister, would of course hear that undermining tone, which she will go ahead and speak back. "Yes, it's good to see you as well, sister," she would say in such a rude tone, as if both sisters would glare at each other. Mine has a bit of a problem with Melty due to the fact that Melty is the next run-in for the queen, something that Mine felt that she totally deserved, while Melty shouldn't even be close to being a queen. Now at this, Melty goes ahead and looks at her father once again, telling him that, you know, they should reconsider about the shield hero, which, you know, knowing that he really cared about his daughter, especially Melty and Mine, he'll go ahead and nod. As no matter how many times the king admits that he doesn't like the shield hero, he does begin to realize that the shield hero, that they're gonna need his strength in order to fight the waves. So at this, the king would nod at his daughter's request, which will make Melty smile, as she goes ahead and thanks her father for his time. At this, the king would nod as Melty will rush off, probably gonna go look for Naofumi, as she really needs to talk to him about this. Of course, Mine, seeing that her perfect sister apparently got whatever she wanted, was of course furious about it, as she would then speak to her father. "Father, don't you think you're spoiling Melty?" she would say, in such a tone that says that she doesn't like Melty at all. At this, of course, the king will go ahead and look at her as she says, "Well, Melty's request, although I do not like it, I have to admit, she is correct. The shield hero's strength is far above any of my expectations. However, as much as I hate him, he is a power that we're gonna need to use." At this, the king will stay, of course, gritting his teeth during the entire process, as he really hated the shield, and even just the idea of working with him really sickened him to the core. But right now, that was not the point of it. At this, of course, Mine gets upset and says, "Well, very well, father. Now, if you must excuse me, I must take care of certain preparations," she would say as she wanders off, probably trying to do something mischievous or downright evil. So we now go ahead and cut to Naofumi and his party, as they were now finally setting on their journey. Naofumi had gone ahead and of course packed up a bunch of food and everything, as well as he also had gotten a couple of rewards from people that have been wandering around the kingdom. Now, Naofumi unknowingly, due to his efforts being shown, everyone began to respect Naofumi even more, as people were actually giving Naofumi gifts and everything, as they don't really believe Naofumi is what the king said. I mean, at first they had suspicions, but now they knew guaranteed that definitely Naofumi is not the type of person. So they've been giving, some people actually tried asking Naofumi for forgiveness, some people are actually allowing Naofumi to shop there, and some people are even giving Naofumi discounts. Although Naofumi is rather grateful, he doesn't really need all this, so he pretty much just shrugs it off. Of course, Jane and Raphtalia are extremely happy about this, as they're really happy to see Naofumi. The opinions on Naofumi change instantly. However, just as they were preparing to leave, this is when suddenly they will then hear the voice of a panting and tired Melty. Wait, she would say as she goes ahead and runs up to them. At this, all of them would then turn to her, as she was now on her knees, pretty much panting the entire time, while Naofumi's just thinking like, this girl has no endurance whatsoever. It was not even a mile run and she's sweating already? At this, Naofumi begins to wonder, is everyone, does she even go outside to play or something? Because, seriously, that was not even a mile run, and you're already tired? But Naofumi just shrugged. At this, of course, after Melty regains her breath, she'll go ahead and stand up. Sir Shield Hero, she would say, as she goes ahead and looks at him. At this, Naofumi will go ahead and just nod, and she would then ask Naofumi to go ahead and pretty much, apologize to her father. Now, hearing this, Naofumi, Raphtalia, and even Jane give her a dark look. That look that just says, "The fuck did you say?" As right now, all of them were right now thinking, is she really serious about us apologizing to that bastard? Now, Melty was of course shook into her core about it, but she stood strong, as she says, "Yes, you heard my request. I asked for you to apologize to my father." At this, Naofumi goes ahead and bends down to her level, as he then says, "Listen up, Melty. I'm pretty sure you don't know how things work here. Let me go ahead and tell you something about your so-called father. He's been giving me hell ever since I entered into this world. So what makes you think I have to be the one to apologize? If anyone has to apologize here, it's him." At this, Melty, of course, hearing these words, would be upset, as she then shouts at Naofumi, telling him that both him and her father are being children. But this is when Naofumi goes ahead and turns to her with a glare. "Okay, you're right, I am acting like a child. But let me tell you this, Melty. Does it look like I give a fuck? I don't, and I never will. Because you know why? I don't give a damn about what you think of me. Because if I did, I'll probably give a damn about what this kingdom thinks of me. And guess what? I don't either. Let me tell you right now, I've gone through my entire time with people having opinions about me, thinking I'm a scum. At this, he begins to tell her all the times that people called him names. People go ahead and not selling him stuff unless he threatened them. Literally, Naofumi had a pretty hard time here. And pretty much, he's over here to acting as if her opinion matters to him. Hello? He's the damn shield hero. He's the wandering merchant. He is the savior of the heavenly fallen, even though he hates that name. He is the one who beat the boss of the waves. She has no right to act as if her opinion of him matters. Now at this, hearing this, Melty of course is upset. She's actually about to shed some tears, which of course caused Raphtalia and Jane to actually feel bad about her friend. But this is when Naofumi actually just looks at her with a cold stare. If you want anyone to apologize, tell that father of yours. Actually, not even a father, I would call him a deadbeat. Especially since, how come you were never here, huh? Did you actually dislike your father? Said Naofumi. At this, Melty goes ahead and looks at him. How dare you even insinuate that? I love my father. But Naofumi would go ahead and look at her. Really? Then how come you were never here with him? The entire time I've been here, I never seen you before, unless I dragged your ass here. So tell me, how come you're not here? Tell me. At this, of course, this would make Melty look down, and she would then say, I was away on an important business trip, she would say. At this, of course, Naofumi just looks at her like, bruh, are you serious? As he goes ahead and says, really, you, a young child in a business trip. The only one here who's supposed to be in a business trip right now should be your older sister. But guess what? Even she's not doing anything. As most of the time she's either fangirling about that damn Moriyasu, or most of the time she's just being a useless character in the background. At this, of course, this would cause Melty to be upset. As after Naofumi pretty much like really like turn on her, he would go ahead and like get up and walk away. As he goes ahead and tells Raphtalia and the rest of them that they're leaving, as he will go ahead and hop onto his trailer and everything, as they will then leave Melty there, all alone, just looking at them. Now, of course, unlike in canon, this is where Melty would actually follow them, but this time Melty actually stays behind in the kingdom with her father to really discuss with him about this, as this is going to take a lot of consideration, thinking, as well as she also needs to report to her mother about it. I hope you have heard about all of this, she would say. As suddenly a shadow would then fall from the ground next to her, as she would then see a crystal ball in her hands. Yes, the queen has been aware of the whole situation. At this, Melty would nod, and she then looks at the kingdom, as she's just thinking like, Father, how much have you grown up? So we now go ahead and cut back to Naofumi and his party. They were now finally leaving the village, as they were now like, enjoying their time. Naofumi and Raphtalia were just talking, as well as Jane adding like a couple of 2 cents into it. As while they're actually driving, this is when suddenly, just like that, a bunch of bandits would then appear surrounding them all. As Naofumi would go ahead and sense all their presences, Jane would actually stop the carts, as all of them would go ahead and look out to see that these weren't just regular bandits. These were from the kingdom, the royal degree. At this, Naofumi would narrow his eyes. What are you guys doing here? At this is when suddenly one of them would then pull out a crystal, which Naofumi recognized it as pretty much a recording crystal, which allows them to record certain events. As Naofumi would then see as one of them pulls out a sword, as Naofumi goes ahead and realizes that this was an ambush, and they were planning to take out him and his party. Good luck, Naofumi would say, as this is when one of them would yell, charge! As all of them would then rush at Naofumi and his party, ready to take down the devil of the shield. But Naofumi, seeing all this, he will go ahead and flex. He's like, man, you guys aren't even my warm-up. As he goes ahead and flexes his Conqueror's Haki, knocking them all out in an instant. A bunch of fools. What's the point of coming at me when you know I have an ability like this? At this, Raphtalia just shrugged it off, as she knew Naofumi had it, while Jane goes ahead and compliments Naofumi, telling him that he was awesome. At this, Naofumi goes ahead and after a while later, takes away all of their equipment and everything, except leaving them with just some boxers on, as he'll go ahead and tie them up and put them on the side of the road. Jeez. At this, Naofumi goes ahead and actually grabs the crystal, as he goes ahead and destroys it in an instant, so that way they don't get any feed at all, so that way they don't go ahead and pretty much have anything to blame on him. So of course, Naofumi will go ahead and hop back onto his carriage, as he will then ride off, as little did he know, someone will catch wind of this. So after that, we're going to actually go to cut to Mine's perspective, as she was right now enjoying her time, really happy, as she can't wait to see Moriyasu, as they were actually about to go on a date. But this is when suddenly one of the people that she ordered to take care of the preparations had arrived. Mine, he would say, as he goes ahead and looks at the princess. At this, Mine goes ahead and turns to him with the look. Yes? At this, he will begin to explain about what had occurred, saying that the blasted shield hero went ahead and defeated all her soldiers, as well as destroying the evidence that they have against him. Of course, this will piss off Mine to such a degree, as she says, dang it! Whatever. He won't get away with long. Luck can take him so far, she would say, as she fully believed that with her power and her abilities, she will be able to take down the shield hero. She will frame him and turn him into the very thing that he always was, dirt, and always underneath her feet. At this, she'll go ahead and have a dark look on her face, she then orders them to try once again, but this time get more things prepared, as she can't wait for what's gonna happen to the dreaded shield hero. As after the man actually accepts her request and leaves, she'll go ahead and actually dash off to Moriyasu to go on their date. Now back with Naofumi, they were now just currently on their journey. Naofumi being the wandering merchant, of course, selling stuff, buying things. This man was making good profit. As well as he was also, saving some people's lives, even though he didn't really need to. But then again, like, this man Naofumi is a Giga Chad. Come on now. So after a while of driving around, they'll suddenly stop by at a village so they can go ahead and relax and rest. As we're going to go ahead and actually do a time skip. So it's right now currently the next day. As right now they're currently now about to go on the road. As by the way, let me just tell you this. The village is actually, pretty nearby to the kingdom. Just letting you know, like, they didn't get that far away. However, this one suddenly they'll then hear another carriage pull up. At this, Naofumi goes ahead and looks up as he'll then see none other than Mine. Wait a minute, Mine? He would say. As once again, Mine jumps out of the carriage and she then says, oh well, I knew you didn't escape that far, so I decided to get here by carriage, she will say. At this, Naofumi's just looking at her like, why is this girl panting? Literally, she rode a carriage here. She shouldn't even be sweating. Are you telling me that you literally sweat by driving in a carriage? Okay, I've seen everything today. As Naofumi really wondered, like, did this girl ever go outside to play or something? As after a while of them just chilling, this is when suddenly Naofumi wouldn't see soldiers go ahead and walk out of there. As when Naofumi goes ahead and looks, he wouldn't see one of them had a crystal just like before, and one of them would go ahead and pull out a sword and rush at, well, Melty. As Naofumi wouldn't think, shit, as he goes ahead and jumps in the way, blocking the attack with his shield. As he then looks at them, just what the fuck are you doing? At this, they didn't say anything as they begin to attack Naofumi and the rest of his party, as Melty goes ahead and orders them to stop, but they don't listen to her. As this is when one of them would say, under the command of the future queen, he will say. As, of course, hearing this, Melty can only think of one person. Mine? As she couldn't believe that her own sister is trying to kill her. As right now, they'll then see as they'll go ahead and rush at Naofumi and his party, while Naofumi is just thinking like, don't let them get near Melty. Alright, Jane, you cover them from the front. I'll get them from the side. Raphtalia, you get the back. At this, they'll all nod as they'll then dash off. Naofumi, of course, going for the side, of course, while Jane goes ahead and plows through them through the front. While, of course, the girl, Raphtalia, would go ahead and burst through the back, taking them down and cutting them down instantly. Now, while this is going on, the flying crystal that's above all of them would right now be watching the entire thing, as this, of course, would be caught by Melty, as she then realizes that of this video or of this ever was shown to anyone, they'll instantly blame the shield hero. As she now realized what Mine was trying to do. She was trying to kill her and blame the shield hero. As she couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe her sister was so diabolical. Now at this, after a while of taking them down, Naofumi would see the crystal as it begins to fly off. As Naofumi then says, nah, screw that. As he goes ahead and jumps off, ready to catch it. As one of the guys were actually, not knocked out yet, would throw his sword, actually causing Naofumi to go ahead and actually having to block in the middle of the air, which causes him to be pushed back, causing him to fall back onto the ground, safely of course, while the crystal gets away to report back to Mine. Shit, fucking bitch, said Naofumi as he was now pissed off, as he already knew that thing was going to record everything and he was probably going to get blamed for this. As Naofumi knew, even though Mine was a pain in the ass, the girl was semi-smart. As he's right now gritting his teeth, he'll go ahead and finally just sigh. Well, there's something to do about it now. At this, he goes ahead and turns to Melty, who's now currently on the ground, and she seems to about to have a breakdown. Of course, seeing this, Jane will rush over to her friend, trying to comfort her, while Naofumi and Raphtalia will stand by the side. Naofumi having a serious expression, while Raphtalia has a sad one. As right now, Naofumi's just trying to contemplate to the fact now what they're supposed to do. Back with the kingdom. Now, of course, Mine had gotten the footage that she needed, as she went ahead and instantly showed her Papa about what was happening. And of course, seeing his poor dear daughter Melty being kidnapped by that devil of the shield, it causes the king to be enraged as he yells out for the shield hero's head, asking all of them to go ahead and bring it back, as the shield hero is supposed to be executed right on the spot. At this, they will all nod at this, as they are now ready to target and destroy the devil of the shield once and for all. Now we go ahead and cut back to Naofumi, as he's now arriving at a certain village, just like the one that they did in canon, as he had, of course, had brought Melty along with him, considering the fact that if he didn't, well, Melty will be in deep trouble. Now, while this is happening, Naofumi will go ahead and arrive at a certain mansion where they will meet the same person that they did in canon, as you go ahead and actually allow them to stay at the mansion for a while. Of course, hearing this, Naofumi and the rest of them are grateful, as soon as they enter in there, Melty and Jane will go take a bath, while Raphtalia and Naofumi will go ahead and actually talk to the man, trying to find out things about like what's going on or how things happen. As this is when the man begins to explain why this village seems so deserted, more like how it seems so small. Now at this, he begins to explain that during the time, there was a certain time where beast people actually prospered. They were like living the lives of humans. They were living good lives. However, after the day that the shield hero had vanished, this is when the demi-humans fully began to go through multiple problems. Not only was the wave there, but there were also people beginning to come here and begin to actually kidnap and enslave the demi-humans. They actually went ahead and took up a large percentage of the people, as one individual actually went ahead and took one of them away. And actually, this one was the most recent, by the way. This guy went ahead and took away a large portion of the demi-humans, as he actually turned them into his slaves, so that way he can go ahead and use them for his own use or to sell them. Now, of course, hearing this, Raphtalia will be in a very rage frenzy, as she actually had a similar experience to what's already happening, and she does not want that or wish that upon anyone, even her worst enemies. As she will go ahead and yell, "Damn bastards, how dare they!" As she will actually begin to remember memories, especially those of her friends. As she'll go ahead and actually begin to tear up. Now Fumi would comfort her, as he goes ahead and tells her that maybe it's about time that they get some rest, and that they will try to discuss this tomorrow. Of course, hearing this, Raphtalia would nod, but inside her eyes, you guys could see that there was some sort of fury that would not be rested until she gets her revenge. Now at this, Naofumi already knowing where this was going, we already knew that tomorrow was going to be a long day, but he can't help but shake off the bad feeling that something very bad was going to happen tomorrow, or the next following days. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do a time skip. So it's now been, I would say like a couple of days that they were now there, as pretty much things were going pretty well until today. As during the time that Naofumi was spending there at the mansion, apparently someone had caught word of the shield hero staying at a certain village, as they were now planning to make their move. Now of course, having this happening, Naofumi had no idea what was going on, but he couldn't help but sense the ominous pressure that was going down, as he felt like something really bad was going to happen. So of course, Naofumi, relying more on his instinct, he would tell all of them they need to begin packing up and going, as he would actually go ahead and rush over to the man, telling him that maybe he should come along with them, so that way he could, avoid whatever problem that's coming. Of course, hearing this, the man would actually go ahead and actually smile. "As much as I would like to come with you, I have to refuse their request. I've been in this home for a very long time, and I would not like to part with it. No." At this, he would go ahead and say that the only time he would ever part with it was during the time of his death. And of course, hearing this, Naofumi would go ahead and look at him like, "Bruh, are you serious?" But when he seen nothing more than pure conviction in the guy's eyes, Naofumi would just nod, as him and the rest of his party would then leave. Now of course, while they're leaving, Naofumi would go ahead and see, as suddenly falling from the sky above will be ginormous fireballs. Wait a minute, wait! At this, suddenly the fireballs will then crash into the village as it begins to pick up flames, as well as the mansion was getting attacked. Now while this is happening, Naofumi's eyes were widening every second, as well as mine and pretty much the rest of, not mine, Melty, as well as the rest of them were also realizing all of this. Of course, Naofumi, having a sneaking suspicion of what was going on, we didn't see an arrow attack coming at him, as he'll grab every last one of the girls and put them down. As he goes ahead, it narrowly avoids the arrow. As this is when one of them will shout, "Over here! It's the devil of the shield!" As Naofumi and the rest of the group would then rush off to a nearby cliff. And then, of course, as soon as they get there, Naofumi and the rest of them would jump down. As this is when suddenly they will then see more fireballs coming from above, causing Naofumi to rush up and defend them all. "Stay behind me," he would say, as he goes ahead and actually forms a shield, blocking the attacks pretty good. As after the whole damage was gone, Naofumi would look up from the dust to see none other than mine, Moriyasu, Itsuki, and Rin. At this, Naofumi would look at all of them. "Are you serious?" he would say as he glares at mine, who's right now laughing. "Huh, shield hero. Don't act all heroic. I'm here to return my sister. Hand her back," she would say. And of course with a fake tone that Naofumi easily caught. At this, Naofumi was looking at her. "Damn, and I thought you were a bitch before, but this is new levels, even for you. You truly are scum. No, you're worse than that," said Naofumi. Hearing this, of course Moriyasu, the #1 simp, would speak up. "How dare you talk to mine like that? She is beautiful, gorgeous." Gorgeous, bruh. Gorgeous. "Well, you're nothing more than scum," he would say, as he goes ahead and looks at Naofumi with the glare. At this, Moriyasu was over here like talking trash. Rin and Itsuki was actually looking at Naofumi, but not with disgust. Well, Itsuki was more or less slowly agreeing with Moriyasu, while Rin was just looking impassive right now. As right now, he truly didn't know what to believe. Yes, it seems like Naofumi kidnapped him, but when he looked at mine, he heard that underlining tone as well, as he really wondered like what was going on. At this, seeing the face that Rin was making, of course Naofumi would go ahead and just think like, damn, one of them is not an idiot. As he goes ahead and gets up, yeah, whatever, mine. Well, listen to this. First of all, what are you trying to do now? Now, at this, of course, seeing all this, mine would go ahead and order the attack, as suddenly ginormous fireballs would then fall from the sky, landing right on top of Naofumi and his party. Now, of course, Moriyasu, being the simp, didn't really notice that she was really close to attacking her sister, while Itsuki and Ren actually realized it. Did she just attack her sister? Wait, what's going on? Said Itsuki, while Rin goes ahead and really thinks like, I don't think Naofumi's the suspect here anymore. It's definitely her now. As at first he didn't know what to think, but now seeing that attack, she really was planning on killing her sister. At this, after the smoke was cleared, they will see Naofumi perfectly fine, as he was like, you know what, I had about enough of this. As Naofumi goes ahead and actually bends down. Raphtalia, Jane, Melty, I recommend you step back. At this, Raphtalia, hearing the undermining tone, instantly knew that Naofumi was about to go nearly full power on this last attack. Now, the reason for this is because Naofumi, not because he was having a hard time, no. It was because Naofumi was pissed beyond any belief. These people tried to kill him and his entire party, and all because of Mine here is jealous that her sister was gonna become queen. Which, by the way, if you guys want to know like how does Naofumi know this, is because Melty actually told him. Flashback. Now Naofumi was just there, sitting down, relaxing, as he was trying to like comprehend why would Mine do all this? Like, yes, he knew that she had a hatred for him. In fact, it pretty much seemed like everyone in the royal family does, except for Melty for some reason. But this is when he actually went ahead and actually got a knock on his door. "Come in," he would say. As this when suddenly Melty would then walk in with a very sad expression. At this, Naofumi seeing this would then sigh. Melty, what the heck do you want? At this, Melty would go ahead and sit down. She says, I think I know why my sister did what she did, she would say. At this, Naofumi goes ahead and looks at her as he only says one word, explain. So with that, Melty will pretty much go on the whole spiel, explaining how what went down, explaining how she was next in line to be queen while Mine wasn't. And of course, Mine had always been the jealous type and always seemed to dislike her. She's pretty sure that Mine is jealous that she was going to become the next queen and not her. At this, of course, hearing this, Naofumi can't help but just look at this like, bruh, this is the definition of being petty and jealous at the same time. As he now go ahead and cut back to the present, Naofumi goes ahead and sighs. Really, to think that you're doing all this just because you're not going to become queen. At this, hearing this, mine would get pissed. How dare you? I will become queen after she's no longer there. At this, Rin and Itsuki just look at her like, did she just confess a crime? While Moriyasu, being the simp, didn't hear any of it, as she orders all the soldiers to fire and wipe out the shield hero in his party, as well as her sister, considering the fact she must be contaminated with the devil of the shield's illusions. Of course, hearing this, Naofumi's like, what? As he had never heard such blasphemy in his life. As suddenly multiple fireballs would fall from the sky, Naofumi just shrugs. Oh, it's already too late now. I'm pissed off. And it's about time I freaking took care of all of you. At this, he will go ahead and actually turn to Rin and Itsuki as he then says, Rin, Itsuki, as much as I might not like you, at least you're not as foolish as them. So I'm going to give you a one warning, and just one. Either you move out of the way, or you're going to come back with broken bones. At this, Rin, already knowing that threat, instantly jumped away, while of course Itsuki at first was not reluctant, but went ahead and jumped as well, while Moriyasu and the rest of them charged with the attacks. At this, Naofumi would go ahead and then slam his fist into the air, both of them at the same time, as this when suddenly, at first nothing happened, but this is when suddenly, multiple earth spikes would then shoot from the ground, as they would see like this, like two ginormous waves were coming towards them, as they were like, wait a minute, wait, what? Now Naofumi went ahead and pretty much did the same attack that Whitebeard did at Marineford, when he went ahead and pretty much hit both of the air at the same time, causing two big tsunamis to go ahead and crash upon them. Naofumi did the same thing, as there were actually a pretty large lake of water nearby. Now, as seeing the two ginormous waves, of course, seeing this, like, mine and Moriyasu and the rest of the group was actually scared out of their mind, while like Itsuki and Rin are just looking at all of this like, what power is this? Moriyasu, seeing that it actually came from Naofumi, was now pissed. How you have such power? At this, Naofumi goes ahead and actually smirks. I'll more or less focus on the wave and trying to come back in one piece, he would say. At this, Moriyasu would then see Naofumi with that irritating grin on his face. That grin that just says, I'm better than you. As he then says, damn you, Naofumi! As this is when all of them would then be hit by the attack, except for Naofumi and of course his party, and of course certain individuals. However, the main group, as in like, you know, mine, Moriyasu and his party, were swept away, as they were actually slammed against the trees. Some of them nearly drowned in there, some actually did. Mine and Moriyasu, they got hit by branches all over, as these waves clashed with them, bro, as they were slowly but surely like getting suffocated underwater. Now, while this was happening, Rin and Itsuki, they were standing actually like way above the trees and everything, well, way above actually the land itself, as they saw all of this, as they couldn't believe their eyes. If they were there with them, that would have been them, as they couldn't believe Naofumi wielded such power. As this is when suddenly they'll then hear a voice. Rin, Itsuki, I know you're not as dumb as these guys. I know that you will figure it out, said Naofumi. At this, hearing this, Rin actually shouts like, wait, what do you mean? But it was already too late. As Naofumi would then give him a, just give him a look, as he goes ahead and actually jumps off with his party. As of course Raphtalia, Jane, and Melty had gone away from the whole destruction. I mean, like, bro, if they were there, they would have been pretty much dead, or they would have been like passed out. As after that, this is where I'm gonna go ahead and actually change a scene. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna do a time skip. As we now see that Naofumi and his party had gone away, as they were now panting. Okay, that could have gone way better, said Naofumi. At this is when suddenly Raphtalia would then chop Naofumi on the head, calling him an idiot for releasing such an attack, as she already knew that if that attack was any bit more powerful, Naofumi would have hit all of them with the attack, and literally even hit himself with it. At this, Naofumi would just chuckle. Come on, at least land the attack, right? At this, Raphtalia would just pout in a very anime-ish girly type way, as this is when, after a while, all of them would then burst out chuckling, until Naofumi's face then morphed into a serious one. Alright, let's go. I could already tell that there's a village nearby. If we can get there, then we should be safe for a while. At this, all of them would then nod in serious expression, as this is when all of them would go ahead and dash off to the nearest village, hopefully getting away from all of them. as this is where I'm actually going to end this part to this what if. Hope y'all did enjoy the video. Yeah, sorry I did not post in a while. Once again, I'm sorry about it. By the way, type down in the comments what y'all think about the new mic. Again, I'm still getting used to using it, but I feel like I'm getting better. And also, sorry if you guys hear hear the mic getting like scratched on or anything. That's because I'm wearing glasses, which yeah, I sometimes wear glasses, but not because I can't see or anything, just because, well, I just wear glasses sometimes, bro. But either way, besides that, guys, hope y'all do enjoy the video, and either way,